Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the all-new Axis Spitfire, and we're going to be covering exactly who it's for and where does this wing excel.
All right, so we've both ridden this Spitfire wing now a couple times, I think, and we're both really liking it, right?
Yeah.
You said you liked it. What have you been liking about it? How have you used it? What type of foiling have you done with it so far?
So I got on the Axis Spitfire for the first time when I was actually prone foiling, and I was absolutely blown away by the turning performance of this wing. I mean, what I couldn't believe was it pumped really well, but it still had great edge-to-edge performance, and this is something that I haven't really seen in wings that pump well. Going from wave to wave, I was able to connect 3 or 4 waves, and I wasn't absolutely gassed trying to pump it, but still the down-the-line performance was super good. And the other thing was, I didn't feel like this thing was hitting the brakes. And I know you've been winging with it. I didn't know, how do you feel about the speed of it?
Yeah, so I've been winging with it. Totally would agree with you on that edge to edge, side to side roll, carviness. Super playful, super fun, very impressive with how well it turns. Which is nothing surprising to me from Axis. I think they did a really good job with their art series in terms of how well that turns for a high aspect foil too. So it does, like Cole said, I've just winged with it here, so that's a little bit higher speeds than what you typically hit when you're prone foiling, with the exception of maybe being like some of your drops if you're dropping in on some pitching waves. And I thought that it did pretty well. I still need to do some playing around with some different stabilizers for it. I think that makes a huge difference when you get into these kind of mid-aspect foils, or I should say mid to high aspect foils, and your speed range that you get out of them. We had it set up with the 365 Skinny, which is one of their new series that Axis came out with, designed to ride at higher speeds. I think it was designed more for people that are riding like those art wings, but I thought that it pairs really well with the Spitfire for winging to try and eke out a little more performance. And you mentioned on the pumpability, that's something that I really noticed was there too. I thought that it pumped really well. I need a few more sessions on it, but I'd say maybe it's one that needs to slow down a little bit for winging to really pump. I feel like you can't just come out of a fast downwind jibe, or I mean, you got to be going like wave speed, I would say, to really get this in the zone that it wants to pump at. And of course, some of that has to do with the size wing that I was riding and all that.
So when talking about the speed of the wing, we kind of covered the top end of it. Ryan was saying that, you know, when you're ripping on the wing, you're gonna hit the top end speed for this foil, but on the waves, it really excels. It's really hard to push the limit of the speed of the Spitfire on the wave. It really likes to go down the line, but again, you're gonna hit that top end limit when you're on the wing and you're cooking up wind. We were talking about the high end speed of the foil, so Ryan was talking about winging, kind of where those speed limits are. I was talking about on the prone side of things, where the limits of the wing are. But Ryan, talk to me a little bit about how you felt this thing performed on the low end of the speed for the Spitfire.
Low end was excellent. Okay. Really easy to get up and get going with a wing. You don't need a ton of power and speed to get going with them, which is awesome, especially if you get out in some of those wave conditions. You want to pop right up and get going, not having to worry about building board speed. So that part is really awesome for it. The other side of that with the stall speed is dropping off foil. I felt like you could really almost stall this thing out to almost nothing and then pick up the wing again and take off. So that is pretty awesome too, because I mean, no matter what level you're at riding, I feel like as wingers, it's easy to get into those situations where you're riding the wave and maybe you're looking for another section to pump through, or you see something coming up and it's not quite there, and maybe you just little lapse in judgment and all of a sudden you're slowing down and you realize you're about to stall out, but you're still up on foil with the Spitfire. With a lot of other wings, you're slamming into the water and you're gonna have to restart board start with it. How did you think it did for proning as far as stall speed goes and takeoff?
Yeah, so I was gonna say something very similar to you. It's a very forgiving wing when you're proning with it. Some of those high aspect wings, if you get caught really hard in your toe side or heel side edge, the wing doesn't want to turn and all of a sudden you're in the water, especially when you're trying to pump out the back and clear that wave that you're on. Where this thing, it rolled over really nice and you could regain your stability really quickly. And this helped a ton with that low end as well, because when you get off balance, sometimes you can't pump right away. Where this thing actually did glide a little bit, and it did slow down, but it didn't drop out and make you slam into the water. So you could really recover and then pump out the back and catch the next wave there.
It's forgiving.
Yeah, it's a forgiving wing, both on prone and on the wing. One other thing about this wing that I thought was super interesting. So basically, this constant width across wingtip to wingtip across the center line helps a ton when you're turning and when you hit either current or bubbles from the wave breaking or something in that nature. With other wings that have a variable chord line width across the wing there, when you hit a wave, hit the current, whatever, it pitches the wing up, but it also changes your pitch up and down. Whereas with the Spitfire, because it has that consistent width across wingtip to wingtip in the middle there, your wing's only gonna pitch side to side. So it's not gonna pitch you up or down, which helps it be a very forgiving wing.
I didn't know about that, but I did notice that riding it.
Yeah.
There were a couple times where I got into some turbulent water in situations where you kind of, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yep.
And on the Spitfire, it was just kind of like more of a subtle board adjustment.
Yeah, it just kind of pitches you rather than
like, what was that?
you.
And you look down and you can see the white water, the turbulent water that you hit there, whereas a lot of other foils, when you hit that, it's a lot more noticeable, I would say. So that's cool.
Well, that makes sense because you hadn't even known about it and you felt it. So that design definitely isn't a gimmick. It's not something that's trying to sell you on the wing. It's something that actually works, which is really cool.
All right, guys, so you can see we've been riding the Spitfire, really enjoy this wing. A couple key things to take away here. Very good foil when it comes to turning. That side-to-side, heel-to-toe performance is awesome. Really forgiving foil in terms of stall speed and ability to take off on foil. It really allows you to slow things down if you need to.
Yeah, one thing I want to add is if you're a rider that's looking to go prone foiling, this wing right here is by far my favorite. I have access to all the different brands that we carry here at the shop, and the Axis Spitfire is my favorite wing to go prone on. So take with that what you will. Ryan, is there anything else you want to add from the winging side of things? Who exactly this wing is for?
Yeah, anyone that's looking to wing in swell or waves and they really want to carve the wave, top to bottom, tight turns, that sort of thing, this is a great setup for you. It's extra forgiving in the stall speed, which makes it really fun and easy to learn to ride, and easier to learn how to ride that style of riding if you're more of someone that's kind of riding straight down the wave or down the line or that sort of thing. So great foil for the wingers out there that want to carve it up in the surf.
And then it's also a great wing for the guys looking to get out there and prone.
All right, guys, this has been Ryan and Cole here with Matt Kite. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below.
Or you can reach out to us via phone or email, which is on our website. But until next time, happy shredding, guys, and we look forward to seeing you in other videos.